Everything changes in 4 years. That's not my prediction. That's straight from the CEO of Rigetti Computing. 4 years until quantum advantage. 4 years until machines outperform the world's fastest supercomputers on real commercial problems. Not in theory, but in reality. Problems that would take classical computers thousands of years, solved in minutes. If that timeline is real, then right now, this moment, is the calm before the storm. This is the window. The final stretch before the world's next trillion-dollar technology erupts. And when it does, it will make the AI boom look small. And if you're new here, welcome. I don't say this for drama. 2 years ago, I made a video about quantum companies when nobody cared. The stocks were flat, ignored, forgotten. Since then, some of those pure-play quantum names have gone up thousands of %. And I don't make these videos for entertainment. I do them because this is exactly the research I used to retire at 40 after years inside big tech, including Amazon. I know how these cycles start quietly and then explode violently. And I want you to see the wave before it hits. So here is the truth most investors don't realize. Quantum computing is not a far-off fantasy. It's not sci-fi. It's a developing ecosystem right now. Experts project it to become a $1 trillion market within the next decade. And more than $110 billion of that will flow directly into the companies building, powering, or enabling quantum hardware today. But here's the part almost no one understands. Quantum is not one industry. It's a full technology stack, just like AI. There's infrastructure. There are builders. And then there are the moonshots, the small companies with enormous, almost unbelievable upside. And today, I'll map the entire thing for you. The companies that profit now, the companies that explode later, and the companies that could turn tiny investments into life-changing gains. At the end, I'll show you exactly how I would invest $100 into the quantum ecosystem, the safest structure with the biggest asymmetric upside. Let's begin with the giants, the infrastructure kings, the companies that win whether quantum computing arrives early, late, or never, because they not building quantum computers. They're reselling everything quantum machines require to function. The first giant is Nvidia. And here's the part no one understands. Quantum computers do not replace GPUs. They need them. Every quantum workflow requires monumental classical computation, simulation, error correction, control systems. And Nvidia is already the backbone of all of it. Nvidia sells the hardware that quantum relies on. They sell the software layer quantum relies on. Their DGX quantum system ties their Grace Hopper servers to real quantum chips at microsecond level latency. And every time a quantum researcher runs a workload, Nvidia earns money, even if quantum machines fail. It's the perfect asymmetric bet. Then there's Microsoft, playing a different game entirely. Azure Quantum is not a platform. It's a marketplace, a gateway to nearly every quantum processor that exists today. IonQ, Quantinuum, Rigetti, Pascal, all accessible through Azure with a single API. And Microsoft didn't stop there. They've achieved one of the biggest breakthroughs in the industry, a massive 800x improvement in logical error rates with Quantinuum hardware. That moves quantum from experimental to reliable. Google has been quiet, but don't mistake silence for weakness. Their Willow chip achieved below-threshold error correction, the holy grail. Error rates that actually improve as you scale up. That's the tipping point toward fault-tolerant quantum computing. And behind the scenes, Alphabet's spin-out Sandbox AQ is already generating real revenue in simulation and post-quantum security. Google is playing the long game and winning it quietly. Amazon is the sleeper giant. Osbrake already integrates multiple quantum processors. And every time a user submits a quantum job, Amazon earns money from both quantum compute and the massive classical compute required before and after. They win no matter what. But they not sitting back. They just built a specialized supercluster of thousands of Nvidia Blackwell GPUs tied together for hybrid quantum workloads. That's not preparing for a maybe. That's preparing for inevitability. And then there's IBM, a company everyone loves to dismiss. Until they remember IBM built the first quantum roadmap and still leads in enterprise adoption. Their quantum system, too, is modular, scalable, and already demonstrating real error correction. And Qiskit, their open-source quantum programming language, has become the industry standard. When half the world writes code using your tools, you have power. These 5 companies are the foundation, the safe bets. They earn money in every realistic future: quantum boom, quantum delay, quantum disappointment. They are the safest way to play the revolution. But now we step into the middle layer, the pure players, the ones who are building the quantum machines themselves. This is where the upside becomes seismic. IonQ is the crown jewel: elegant architecture, long coherence times, low error rates. And they're not just publishing research, they're shipping machines. Their Tempo and Fort enterprise systems are going into real customer environments. AstraZeneca, Ozit, and Nvidia partnered with IonQ to achieve a 20x speedup on a real drug discovery problem. Not a simulated problem, a real pharmaceutical workflow. That is historic. Then there's Rigetti, once written off, now becoming a comeback story. Their modular chiplet design mirrors what AMD and Intel used to win in classical chips. And it works. Their systems are scaling faster. Their fidelities are rising. And major governments are betting on them. DARPA, the Air Force, the UK. They are pouring millions into Rigetti because their architecture has real potential for commercial-scale quantum machines. D-Wave is different, and that's their advantage. They're not chasing universal quantum computing. They're dominating optimization today: logistics, routing, scheduling, portfolio optimization. Problems that every large company needs to solve. No, they already have paying customers. Their hybrid solvers mix classical and quantum methods, and sometimes crack problems classical machines struggle with. They make money today, not someday. Then we enter the final layer, the twilight zone, the penny stock moonshots. These companies will either vanish or become the kind of 20x, 50x, 100x outliers that no one sees coming. Quantum Computing Inc., betting big on photonic quantum chips, chips that run at room temperature. If photonics wins, they become a takeover target overnight. SealsQ, building secure hardware for a future where quantum computers can break today's encryption. If governments mandate quantum-safe security, which many predict by 2027, companies like this explode. Arcit, focused on software-based quantum-safe encryption. All it takes is one telecom deal or one defense contract, and this thing could skyrocket. And Microcloud Hologram, the strangest one. A fusion of quantum simulation, holography, and AI. Nearly $400 million in cash. If even a fraction of their tech delivers, this is the definition of asymmetric upside. Now the question everyone asks: which company will win? Wrong question. The question you should be asking is, how do I position myself so I benefit no matter who wins? And that brings us to the allocation. If I had $100 to put into quantum right now, here's exactly how I would do it. $70 into the infrastructure giants, the companies that win no matter what. Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. IBM, $25 into the pure players. IonQ, Rigetti, D-Wave, the companies where breakthroughs turn into exponential returns. And $5 into the moonshots, the tiny, volatile, unpredictable names that could vanish or become legendary. In a conservative future, that $100 grows to maybe $250 or $350. This is not financial advice. This is asymmetric thinking The strategy I used to retire early, the strategy I still use today. Because quantum computing is not coming someday. It's coming now. The question is whether you'll be positioned before the world wakes up. If you found this valuable, hit like so YouTube shows it to more people. Subscribe if you want deep research nobody else is doing. And if you want access to my full portfolio, early research, and exclusive breakdowns, the link to the free newsletter is in the description. $1 trillion revolution is approaching. And when it hits, everything changes. Are you ready?